Hey Batchers, Jeremy here. Today we are about to watch The Bad Batch episodes 10 and 11. Oh my, we are that far into the series. We only have a few episodes left. As it is a two-parter, I am expecting this to have a lot to do today, especially since we are in the latter half of the season and we are fast approaching the finale. I have a really bad feeling about Pabu at this point. I don't know if bad things are going to happen this week, next week, when it's going to happen, but I have a feeling that shoe is going to drop soon. On that cheery note, before I get into it, please remember to hit that like and subscribe. The likes just get me out into the YouTube algorithm. It keeps the channel going, and the subscribes let you see more content from me. Also, please keep in mind, these are up on my Patreon. The full episode reactions are available there. All right, let's get into this. Okay, well, they just opened on the most adorable species, and now I have a bad feeling.
Hey, who threw that? It was
Oh no.
The kid can barely lift a vase that big, let alone throw one.
He's
But
force
he did.
sensitive.
We saw it.
The word I want to use for him is not appropriate for all ages.
I've got a tip for a Class 1 bounty hunter.
Cad Bane. It's gonna be Cad Bane.
Are there not adults that could serve this purpose?
There are few adults left with such characteristics.
Yeah, because you freaking wiped them out.
The young clone's blood is the only binder that's proven to be compatible with their DNA to recreate their M-count levels.
Okay.
And why Omega must be found.
I like your glasses.
Thank you. What is your name?
Dr. Carr, limit your personal interactions with the specimens.
I didn't know they had owl bears in Star Wars, but I'm glad to see them. Yep. Genuinely surprised you didn't kill her.
She said she'd find out for me
Find out what?
when I'll be going home. Can you find out for me?
Oh, kid.
I will look into it.
Thank you, Dr. Carr.
Smart kid.
I have everything under control. Don't!
Well, they've done a good job making me hate
Your actions were extreme,
Scorch.
Commander. He's only a child.
The specimen attempted to escape. I was following protocol.
At this point, I gotta think the clones that they're using are all conditioned. Like the assassins. They are way too loyal. And on board with this.
Questions have been raised regarding the financial impact your facility is having upon Imperial resources. And now, additional funds have been diverted at your request?
That is correct. It is for a project that is of personal interest to the Emperor.
Yeah, this is even above Tarkin. I love the fact that this is actually something that Tarkin isn't even a part of. Yay, Starfleet Command again. It looks so much like it.
This specimen is younger than I expected.
Then he'll be less trouble.
I need to test him. For confirmation. And where did this child come from?
Asking questions like that, you give away more than you think.
It's all here, Mr. Bane.
Ooh.
Until next time.
Ooh. If we needed to further establish that Hemlock has no soul, this pretty much does it. Omega definitely has an effect on people. Oh no. Ooh. Oh, the tracker was after her. Assassin, whatever.
The next time I give you an order to scour through the green goo, you scour through the green goo.
She's gonna lead him right to Babu. Which is what I expected. I was hoping he wasn't gonna take her and torture her. Not sure she'd give up that information.
I tracked the pirate and access to a Navi computer. She tried to cover her tracks, but I broke the encryption.
What did you find?
She frequented a planet in the Outer Rim.
So, which treasures did you bring?
Omega and her treasures.
You're sure you want to leave these behind?
Pabu was the first place that felt like a home. This way, a piece of us is still here.
Every time they show those goggles. That...
Oh yeah? Well, maybe I should leave you behind.
Why haven't we had an episode with just those two?
I've got eyes on the target.
Ground them and wait for the division. She must be recovered unharmed.
Division?
No mistakes this time.
Oh! Oh! No! The ship! Their other home! Oh!
Everyone, get to cover!
This is 100% what I was worried about. The people there need to just take shelter. They will kill you. Batch, you just get on a transport and get the F out.
They're attacking because of me.
It's the Empire's fault, not yours. You have to stay focused.
There is a distinction.
Destroying all means of escape and jamming our comms.
Badger, you're gonna get yourself killed. Or Badger. I always say Badger. Badger does fit, though, by the way, now that I think about it. Well, I wanted him to get a transport. That's the way to do it. Yeah, that's what I expected. Oh! I figured he'd shoot the engine, not the pilot. Good gravy.
Too many unknown variables. It's not a viable plan.
It's all we've got. And it's my choice.
Omega.
Focus on the bigger mission, Crosshair. I'm just a small part of it.
Wow, she learned from him. It's very funny to see him behaving like her and she's behaving like him. Yeah, now he's got to get in position to fire a tracker onto a ship, and he doesn't know which ship. For certain, anyways. Not until they take her. Okay, say what you will about the assassin, his ship's pretty friggin' sick. Really. Oh my god! Wait. Okay, so I just had to look up the Bad Batch schedule because I was wondering, are we going to get more two-parters like this? When are we going to get more answers, essentially? And according to the schedule, it's a single episode release all the way into the finale, which is boggling my mind right now, because I'm sitting here going, how are we not getting two parters like this again in the coming weeks? So yeah, even the finale being one episode, I gotta imagine that's going to be like an extra long episode, right? There's no way we're cramming all of this into a single episode. You can't finish a series in one episode. That's nuts. I'm really, really astounded by that, but I gotta think it's just gonna be a longer episode. I had to look that up because I was collecting my thoughts and trying to figure out what all happened in this. Everything happened. So much happened in this episode. First, we did learn that they are experimenting on Force-sensitive children at Tantus. Not all that surprising. It actually was more surprising to me that there were live specimens, because I had thought they were, if you saw Obi-Wan Kenobi, they showed that they had Force users in like this amber-like substance. It looked like kind of like suspended animation. So I had assumed they were doing the same with subjects at Tantus, which they kind of did show that earlier in the season as well. They didn't show the bodies, but it looked like they had those exact same bodies in amber there. But it looks like the people they're experimenting on are children, much like Omega. But they did seem to confirm Omega isn't Force sensitive, which I'm going to get back into in a second, which I've never wanted Omega to be Force sensitive, but after last week, I kind of felt like, okay, she has midichlorians, but it's so unique in a clone. Maybe that's why her blood is working, that her blood has just a kind of minimal midichlorian count, like an average person almost midichlorian count, which is rare in clones, and it was making the blood compatible and you don't lose the base, which is kind of what they explained in this one, except they didn't mention her having midichlorians. But then there's that ending. When Omega takes off her hat and she takes that breath, I had to rewatch that right before I started talking here, because that to me looked like a person who was reaching out with the Force. That looked like someone who was centering themselves, preparing themselves, but it also looked like someone who was reaching out. And considering they don't have a way to track her now, that Crosshair missed. They don't have a way to track the ship because her communicator got confiscated. The only recourse now is either she reaches out with the Force and tells someone where she's going, which would be a way to bring Asajj back in, to be honest, because it's the only Force user that she truly knows. Or that was just her thinking she was safe and that the batch was going to be coming for her, not knowing that there is no tracker on the ship. If that is the case, then the next few episodes are going to be the batch frantically looking for her. That if she is not able to reach out with the Force, I still tend to think, I've never been a fan of her having Force powers, but I do tend to think that she may have a little bit, just the smidgen of Force ability. And it might just be enough to contact Asajj, which is what I'm hoping for their sake, in this case. Also, would give us Asajj back, which would be pretty awesome. And it also would pay off that episode. It would really pay off that episode. If it doesn't have anything to do with her using that teaching she learned from Asajj, then it kind of feels like that episode was wasted. Because what's the significance outside of having a cameo of Asajj come back? Which, I love having Asajj come back, but what impact does that have on the story? Because if you really look at that episode, all that episode amounts to is Asajj was saying, yeah, I can't find any Force powers. There were no other answers other than, she doesn't have any talent, which I was always suspicious of. At the very end, it felt like she was saying she does, but it's not enough for me to concern myself, and she already has a family. But I think she just saw that Omega has a little bit of ability, or sensitivity, I should say, but she doesn't have a natural talent to it, so she's not really concerned. But if we're taking everyone at face value, then Omega is kind of screwed right now. Because she has no Force powers. Her blood is only good because it doesn't diminish midichlorians for some reason, because it's special. And they have no way to track her. So at this point, they would be frantically beating down doors, just trying to find a single person that has a lead to Tantus, the most secretive and secure location in the galaxy. Because if Darkin doesn't know what's going on there, then you know how secretive this place is. This is locked down. However, saying all that, I do realize we may have gotten a clue to what's actually going to happen, and that is Omega didn't reach out with the Force. Let's go with that one. Occam's razor. She didn't reach out with the Force. You know, everybody is telling the truth. They're all saying, "Oh no, she didn't have Force powers. No midichlorians. That's it." So she didn't reach out with the Force. They are just taking her back. They are taking her to Tantus. The saving grace is the doctor there. She's finally coming around. She's seeing what they're doing is wrong. She is also on a path of redemption at this point, which I'm going to talk about Crosshair in a minute too. She no longer wants to harm these children, if she ever really did. She had just been working on clones. She hadn't been adult clones, not Omega clones, adult clones, which I can see her mentality of, okay, I'm taking their blood and we're running these tests and blah, blah, blah. Not that big of a deal. Holding him in cells, yeah, that's bad. But, you know, she could, in her brain, she was rationalizing it okay. When you introduce children like Omega, and now these other children, it's just that bridge too far. I'm saying all this because I think she is who's going to contact the batch at this point. I think she is the one who might be the lifeline. That is assuming Omega does not have Force sensitivity, that Omega is not able to call out with the Force. So if that is the case, then I have a feeling that Doctor is the lifeline. She is who can contact Hunter and the others. She is the one who will save Omega. But this leads into my other theory. Crosshair is the other person who will save Omega. They have done so much to build his character this season. It reminds me a lot of a certain goggled wearing clone. They built up Tech so much last season, only to take him away from us. I feel the same about Crosshair. They've done so much work to make not only the audience like him, but to change him, to get him to grow, to make him see the error of his ways, much like the Doctor on Tantus. So using Tech as a blueprint here, it makes me think this is exactly what we're about to see again with Crosshair. Now, it's also possible they were aware of this. They'd know that people would start putting that together, and they'd think, oh no, we're going to actually let him live instead of kill him off like we did with Tech. What I kind of feel like we're still going to lose Crosshair, because Crosshair, in order to redeem himself, he's going to have to probably make a major sacrifice. But I tend to think this series is going to end with Crosshair not only saving Omega, but he's probably going to be the one who brings down Tantus somehow. Like either he's got his finger on the trigger and he hits the bomb that it blows the place up. Something along those lines, and he's still inside. But all of the clones have gotten out. He's helped them all escape. He's gotten Omega out. Final moment for Crosshair. I could just see something like that, because a sacrifice for his entire family, not just his brothers in the batch, not just Omega. But if he sacrificed himself for all the clones, that's one heck of a redemption arc. Especially when most of those clones barely associated with him and the others when they were, in their better years. But yeah, kind of a bleak ending, but I really enjoyed it. It's such a weird thing to say, but I enjoyed what it set up. I enjoy the stakes we're getting this season. I really love how complex the storytelling has been this year, and it has been a real suspenseful ride. I love this. I wish the entire series had been this way, because this season is just killing it. And poor Pabu. Poor Pabu. It's going to be under Imperial rule now. There's no way around it. Once the Empire sets foot someplace, they never leave. Ask Lando Calrissian. All right, what did you guys think of this episode? Leave your comments below. do you have a theory about how Omega is going to get found? Do you think she's force sensitive? Do you think that it's the doctor, I keep forgetting her name, that is going to help her escape? What do you think Crosshair's ultimate fate will be? And what do you think about we're only getting single episodes all the way to the finale? Whatever your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, like I mentioned up top, remember to hit that like and subscribe. And before I go, as always, please take care of yourselves and please take care of each other. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.